when that second hand comes off the quarterback, or the quarterback takes that second hand off the football.
With Hill in motion, it's over his head. Tua tries to swat it out of the end zone, and he did successfully. It is a safety. Wow.
3rd and 5. It's Allen in some trouble. Steps away. He lost it. It's on the ground. And the Bills recovered. Kicked around like a pinball. And somehow Buffalo comes up with it with Ty Johnson. What were you saying about the wet ball?
I'm telling you, look at that. It's
covered by number 26 of advance. After the loss, now Algier. That ball came out loose, and that's still fumbling around into the end zone and out of the back of it. It's going to be 2 points potentially here.
Yeah, it was Christian. He can make it tough on offenses.
Oh, that snap in the end zone. Robbins loses it. He sort of fell on it. He's going to get knocked out of the back of the end zone. And a safety.
You've mentioned it, Jason, a few times. Just a lot of short completions. Johnny Hekker will throw. That's his 26th career passing attempt, but he throws it wide and incomplete. So the fake punt does not work. And Denver, his career long is 60. Center, right at midfield instead of fake. Pitch it up to Kroll. Lucas Kroll stiff arm, but won't get there. Tough bait and tricky, even with the lead. Hey, this is a coach that had an onside kick in a Super Bowl.
Motion coming across, and you'll see the collision right here happen. And CeeDee Lamb with the easiest touchdown that he's ever going to get. Wow, back-to-back drives flying down the field.
Oh, it's a high snap way over everybody. Going back to get it now is Walker. He's all the way at the 35. And now he's trying to turn it upfield, and it's a monumental blunder.
When you get these rainy conditions, so many of these things you take for granted, like shotgun snaps, and Connor Williams just sends it way over Smith's head. Heads up play by Walker getting on it, but he feels everyone tracking him down.
A pitch to Mixon. He can't handle the football. It's loose. The Colts have it. He's not been ruled down.
Chains of events here. C.J. Stroud pitching that one behind Joe Mixon. It gets bumped up into the air. It looks like he was thrown to the ground by Joe Mixon.
Jaguars have not converted on 3rd down all game. Ball is on the ground. And Lawrence able to pounce on it.
Braylon Allen on the field with Breece Hall here. Hall in motion. Football is loose. Rodgers somehow gets it to Allen off a broken play. Boy, all kinds of ugliness for the Jets offense. First, you have to burn a second timeout.
Operating that quickly.
Ball's on the ground again. He just has to flop on it there. So 2nd down. And, you know, part of that is you see that number and everybody talking about.
Richardson lost a handle on it. It's loose.
He himself, a quarterback in college, won the Sammy Ball Award. A little miscue here. Broken play, flags. How about 3 of them?
That's 2 guys in motion. This will be
Sam Martin to punt it away. Short kick. The penalty.
Williams just, his feet come out just as the rain comes up, and Matt Collins on the recovery.
Trying to do the same against the Texans. Richardson buying time for his receivers to get down there. He's in trouble, and Richardson trying to stay alive. Laterals to Braden Smith, scooped up by Autry. Ball is still loose. Will Anderson has it. He is down, and the game is over. Game down to this. Mayfield steps up, launches it to the end zone for the win. It is caught out of bounds, and Atlanta takes over first place in the NFC South.
About 4 yards shorter. We might have had some action. Great job by Richie Grant going up to high point that ball. Unfortunately, the police officer took the brunt of this and
has built this Detroit Lions team over the last 3 years.
Goff pumps in trouble, the ball out, and Goff able to roll over on top of that football, laying next to his hip. Arden Key, again with the heat, on Jared Goff, and it's 4th down.
Something that Rodgers quickly recognized upon joining this team last year. Rodgers, boy, the football came out. Let's see if they're going to rule this an incompletion. Football, meantime, is still loose, New England, but they will rule it incomplete. Rodgers trying to pull that one back.
Deebo Samuel in motion. Purdy had the ball come out of his hand. I think it was an empty hand, too, so that's a fumble. Might take him out of field goal range. Shanahan takes a timeout with 26 seconds left. Aaron Banks falls on it.
Today, they will throw. Murray lost the ball on the way through. He gets it back, then throws it. It was a fumble initially. Calais Campbell was in there with him, and it's going to be 2nd down.
Can you imagine if he'd have been able to complete that? Here he is.
Time in the pocket and to convert for a first.
Officials giving them a chance to sub. Brissett loses the football. My goodness. DJ Reed was coming heavy. Brissett able to fall in the football, so they lose 3.
And the Broncos add on. 3rd down. Nick slant. Sutton hits, reaches, and the ball pops out. Carolina hops on it.
A 6-time Pro Bowler, Budda Baker, a very strong tackler. Tagovailoa, little shovel pass right into the middle of the field, and it comes out. It's fumbled by Hill right at the goal line.
Blitz coming again. Smith in trouble. Backpedals. Bad pass, and it is picked off. It's intercepted by Austin Johnson.
Get yourself right down here in the high red zone.
Man, he hurdled over Poyer. Connor with a stiff arm of Ramsey, and then eventually he goes down.
3rd and 9 for Seattle. Blitz is coming. Picked up. Smith knocked away in the air again, and then he swats it to the ground, prevent the interception. Rousseau got there again. The right call. You got
away with that. You got Coleman here, who's a rookie coming out of Florida State, and
just throwing the ball around, and my goodness, the tight ends have come.
Right here, he feels like he had the opportunity right there, but Wilson has been the hot receiver.
He's still going to find a way to double him, still take him inside and outside, even with that double move.
A rough first drive for him coming out here, and
Been away from the defense, and J.C. Horn gets away with a little tug right there. Horn, as he's getting chased down.
From the 30. Leaps to throw, and it's through the hands of Xavier Legette. Could not bring it in. He says he lost it up in the sun. You could see him pointing.
Under 10 to play. Lamar, like he's in the backyard, just playing with his buddies. He's looking long to the middle of the field. Bateman, oh, he had it! It pinballed right off his shoulder pads.
Wanting Bateman, who's been really good at these plays, but he lost his footing. And I think losing his footing threw him off more than the sun. But I think back to our conversation with Jim Harbaugh and just talking about the throw at Tampa where Bateman was able to bring it in and how big a play.
Everybody else gets help.
Purdy is going to take off, pulls back, throws, and deflected, almost got intercepted on that deflection. That would have changed the game.
That was the...
Get him outside the pocket. This is always nice. Easy progressions. Linear right there. You see the other receiver, Eskridge, right behind him.
That leaves the middle of the field, which is where Kelsey's heading. Just not able to connect with Mahomes. He gets his...
A little high for Judy, and then it goes right through Moore's hands as well.
I think he was throwing it to Moore.
And Judy got in the way?
Yeah, I think just based on the way.
This ball looks like it goes right through his hands. And that's a long one he had a few weeks ago, and we saw Bo Nix and Sean Payton
for field goal. You see the spy coming from in front, and that's a really well-designed defense here. You put 3 down.
He baited him, made the throw, right on the money.
Kamara with the drop, boom. He's going to run that little angle route that they love so much. They just got to have that and force Derwin James to make that tackle.
Goes to show you, as good as Puka is, he has it. You look at his eyes. He's already starting to look up at Metellus, and he didn't quite have the ball.
Mild-mannered, but goes for the throw on the field, and that should have been caught and almost intercepted. Pete Werner had it, and that could have changed everything. Tomlinson.
Second play in a row that they could have had big gains on, and that should have been caught. And we've got a Washington player down.
It's the right tackle, Andrew Wiley.
Doesn't see him. And then this is beautiful. Look at 9 right there. Wide open. Coming back to the curl. Got to catch that.
Screen, and they had that set up. If Pearsall makes that block right there, there was a lot of room to run.
That was going. There was a lot of room. Better in the passing game. We need you to catch the football more, and it's right there, but he's looking up.
Winston off the play fake. Winston sets up, looking to the end zone. He's got plenty of time, fires, and it's nearly intercepted. Eddie Jackson had his hands on it.
I really have no idea.
Now it's a simple high-low combination. Deep out cut and a flat route, and that
Spread him out with no one in the backfield. Purdy over the middle. Debo couldn't hang on. It was behind him. He was being shadowed by Malik Hooker. But the 49ers do not convert on 4th down. With 8. Nix across the middle. Mims wasn't looking. He was there in the seam. He made a couple miss.
Yeah, to your point, if he would have had to score, if not.
Again, and he's got his second of the day, I believe. Yes.
Rolling on the field, stands as called. It is a touchdown.
And that is a big break for Kyle Pitts.
Blitzing. Nope, he backs out. Throw down in 6. Lost under pressure. Lost the football. The 14-yard line as we take one more look. Just talking about Edgerrin Cooper.
Illegal motion. Offense. Penalties declined. First down.
Cooper knocked the ball loose. Mahomes, they double. Oh, that ball's deflected and picked off. It's Merrick. Got by 1. Got by 2. Dives to the 3.
For a field goal attempt.
37, you're certainly going to be comfortable. He can make that, but 30 would be nice.
He overthrows his receiver, and it's dropped by Kyle Hamilton.
Interception.
I can't believe anything that just happened.
It's the 3rd drop they've had today in the secondary.
But I can't believe Winston threw that bad of a pass and that Hamilton, the all-pro safety, dropped it. Wow.